Welcome to today's deep dive. Imagine reading an ancient blueprint for this, like, totally impenetrable city.
Only to discover a hidden footnote that turns that entire city into a map of the afterlife.
Right. It's wild. So our source today is Psalm 48 from the English Standard Version of the Bible, which is attributed to the sons of Korah.
And our mission here is really to explore this ancient text's vivid imagery of Zion. We want to understand historical concepts of, divine security, power, and generational legacy.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the authors of this text blend physical geography with theology in a way that's, well, it's just incredibly deliberate.
Oh, absolutely.
To understand the impact of the text, we first need to visualize the really imposing setting it constructs.
Right, and what's fascinating here is the sheer scale they used to build this image. I mean, Mount Zion is described as beautiful in elevation.
And the joy of all the earth.
Exactly. With God acting as a literal fortress within her citadels, they are constructing a psychological stronghold.
Yeah, I like to compare it to an approaching army staring up at an unassailable medieval castle, or even standing at the base of a massive skyscraper.
The sheer verticality of it demands submission.
It really does. It makes you feel incredibly small. But why do the authors emphasize the physical geography like it being in the far north, alongside the spiritual greatness?
Well, in this context, physical elevation perfectly symbolizes spiritual supremacy, its unshakable security. In the ancient Near Eastern worldview, the far north wasn't simply a compass direction.
Wait, it wasn't?
No, mythologically, it was understood as the dwelling place of the gods.
Oh, wow.
So placing Zion there elevates it from a local capital to the unshakable center of the universe.
And holding that center of the universe status triggers absolute chaos for anyone who tries to challenge it, right? Which leads us to the next verses.
Yeah, the setup directly causes this dramatic, almost cinematic reaction from the rival kings.
It's totally cinematic. The assembled kings see the city, panic, and flee. The text says they're seized by anguish as of a woman in labor.
And then suddenly, an east wind shatters the massive ships of Tarshish. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. I have to push back a little on this because of a geographical oddity.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, how and why does a landlocked mountain fortress narrative suddenly involve shattering ocean-going ships? I mean, the ships of Tarshish were these legendary distant vessels.
Right, they represented the absolute pinnacle of ancient maritime wealth.
Exactly. It feels completely disconnected from a stone fortress in Jerusalem.
I get why you'd say that, but if you look at the poetry, it demonstrates a totality of power. The exact same divine force guarding the mountain commands the natural world to destroy distant maritime superpowers.
Ah, so it shatters the idea of just a localized territorial deity.
Precisely. It's absolute cosmic control over the deepest oceans, even those completely out of sight.
So what does this all mean? Because after this terrifying display of global external power, the text abruptly zooms inward.
It does. It shifts to a quiet, intimate reflection. The focus moves inside the temple to reflect on steadfast love. Right, and it commands the reader to literally walk around Zion, count its towers, and consider its ramparts so they can tell the next generation.
Which is such a striking shift in tone.
It really is. Why pivot from cosmic naval warfare to an architectural walking tour?
Well, counting those towers isn't like a military inventory. It's a tangible mnemonic device.
A mnemonic device to remember the history.
Yeah. To internalize the city's permanence and pass that narrative to future generations. Walking the walls and running your hands over the stone anchors the abstract concept of eternal security deep into cultural memory.
That makes so much sense. It forces the individual to physically internalize permanence, which really connects to you, the listener. What foundational ramparts do you mentally walk around and count when you need reassurance in an overwhelming world?
It's a powerful question. And that search for permanence brings us back to the hidden footnote we teased at the very beginning.
Oh, right, the ending. The main text of the English Standard Version ends by declaring that God will guide us forever.
But an ESV footnote reveals an alternate ancient reading from the Septuagint.
Which is the early Greek translation. What did they write?
They translated it as, "He will guide us beyond death."
Beyond death. Wow. Consider how shifting that single phrase transforms the entire concept of the city.
It changes everything we just talked about. It transforms Zion from a physical, earthly legacy of stone and mortar into a profound, eternal one.
It really does. The fortress doesn't just outlast empires, it outlasts mortality itself, something to mull over until next time.